Hey, what's going on the YouTube? This is SEL0320 representing JVS. So I'm back here again for another review. This is an advanced screening review for Ghost in the Shell. The movie's gonna be released out tomorrow, which is tomorrow the 30th? Yeah, it's gonna be March the 30th tomorrow. It'll release out to general public technically on the 31st, which is Friday. And what did I think about it? Some of you guys saw my live reaction, and I literally came out of the theater. And I wasn't like cheering. I wasn't like, this is the greatest movie in the world. But I literally slowly started to process the slow burn effect that was Ghost in the Shell, the live action. And generally, I actually really liked the film. The more and more I really process it and think about it, I really like it. Reason why it takes me time to process it, that I liked it, it wasn't because I'm trying to make it happen. It's more so that they changed a lot of the dynamics from the story arc from the 1995 anime hit classic that was done by, I think it was Mamoru Oshii, I think that was his name. And that was just a classic. I mean, it was just generally you have a character in Major working for this organization, volunteered to work with the organization, and then come to find out certain things that were happening, and villains such as the Puppet Master. This takes homage to that in a nostalgic way from the visual immersion. The visuals for this, you can see certain shots and be like, that was in that movie. That was that epic scene. Specifically when they utilized the action beats. The action beats were on, oh my gosh, they were on another level from a visually shot standpoint. Like, the cinematography is very beautiful from a scope, but it's like, even when you look at the world, like, and you compare it to the Neo kind of, you know, later on futuristic kind of sense in the anime or the manga, you can definitely see it in this film. The visuals are on key, and for the fact that this being like $120 million budgeted film, they did a really good job with it. And I think that even more so than the action moments, the subtle poses, like when you see Major, you know, in her, you know, her little apartment, as it were, and just kind of sitting up and posted up, talking to herself or looking at something, and you can literally pinpoint that moment in the other film. But the thing about this is not the exact same film. When I thought about Old Boy, I thought that the fact that Old Boy suffered because they tried to make it the exact same, and there was no way to really recreate that magic in that way. It just wasn't. This takes the visuals, the groundedness of the world, and chooses to build on the characters and create a franchise in and of itself by world building. And it's not like they're just trying to, you know, all right, I'm gonna save this part for this. There are things in Major, or character developed things in this specific movie with Major, that they've never really done before or explored within the confines of the 1995 version. And I think that personally that Scarlett Johansson did a great job. The thing about Major is, if you don't know, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, that she is technically a cyborg in a lot of different ways. And so normal people would emote and react and stuff like that, some of the things she goes through, or even thinking about past trauma, she literally physically can't. So it's all on Scarlett Johansson to be able to embody the character, yes, but be able to show those social mannerisms through her eyes, through her expressions, through the words that she says, how she delivers her words, just as much as like the antagonist in the way that he talks. I thought that was actually really crazy, because it reminded me of like every different iteration of a computer voice that I could really think about. And it has this really hostile tone. So I think that the guy that actually, I don't want to spoil that. I don't want to say anything about him. Anyway, I'll go to her partner. Her partner is played by Pilu Asbak, who was in recently the Game of Thrones during the 6th season. And he plays the role of Batu. Batu is one of her partners and works with her. And his visuals, it literally looks like the anime came to life. Like, just the way he looks, the way he is. I actually like his character. Really good chemistry with Scarlett Johansson. The height difference is just the same. I think that honestly, they did a really good job in the casting. Another good nod that I would say would be for the role of Beat. He did a really good job. He's been a lot of different films over the years, and even the role of Dr. Olette, played by Juliette Binoche, she did a really good job as well. But the thing about it is that this movie is gonna make people be split. The anime fans that are advocates of trying to stay to the source material, stick to the gun. Sorry, I got hiccups. They're gonna probably have a problem with this film because they very much so change a lot of the motivations behind what Major's doing, what she's trying to do, who she's trying to be, what her understanding of her role is. In this one, Major very much so is kind of in the dark. And even from the opening crawl, when you actually get to see how she's created and what happens with that, that is just like, the opening, title credits. But you never get to hear that back forth dialogue as to why, her questioning who she is and stuff like that. And even more so with that, a lot of the older one had a lot of the political stuff and the connections between the companies and stuff like that. That is not in this film. This film stands on its own as far as the story and tone, but I think it works because personally, by the third act, I actually felt something for Major. I was like, this is something that connects her with a purpose, not just like, a soldier choosing to do something. Like, this makes her multidimensional, whereas she's very strong on the exterior, but now she's grounded because she has history, she has connection, and even more so connection to the antagonist on a deeper way as well. I thought that change, I personally dug, and I actually really enjoyed the film personally. I got hiccups. I got to end this out. I would give this movie actually an 8.5 out of 10. I was thinking an 8, but the visuals alone, when I went and I saw this in IMAX 3D, this is a beautiful film. This is like, the 3D is actually amazing. And some of the, the CG I've seen over the years, they used a lot of practical and well-placed sets as well as stunt work. And I think that they bridged the CG into the world through the cinematography. They used great cinematography and they just added on to it. And I think that for me, I round this out to 8.5 out of 10. I actually really enjoyed Ghost in the Shell. And I hope that they make a franchise out of it based on how they ended this one. Anyway, keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. I gotta deal with my hiccups. Peace.